He's home healing, and so wasn't able to be here with us today. So I'm acting chairman today, and we'll be taking care of the bid opening. Do you want to go right to that?
Yeah.
First. So let me read the advertisement for bids. It was posted in the paper first. Sealed proposals will be received by the Board of Bonneville County Commissioners at the Bonneville County Commissioner's Office, 605 North Capitol Avenue, Idaho Falls, Idaho 83402, until 5 p.m. on the 12th day of October 2021. Sealed bids will be open the next day, October 13th, 2021 at 10 a.m. in the Commissioner's Hearing Room, Suite 102. This is for a gravel-based protective cover material in stockpile as follows: 12,000 cubic yards of gravel-based protective cover consisting of the following specifications: 2-inch minus pit run material with less than 5% passing a number 200 sieve. Proposals conforming to the condition above stated will be opened and publicly read. Someone getting on? Bonneville County reserves the right to reject all proposals or to accept the proposals or proposal deemed best for the Bonneville County. No proposal will be considered unless accompanied by an acceptable proposal guarantee in the amount not less than 5% of the total amount of the bid proposal. The guarantee must be in the form of a certified check or cashier's check drawn on an Idaho bank made payable to Bonneville County or a bidder's bond. Prospective bidders shall be licensed in the state of Idaho by the Idaho Public Works Contractors Licensing Board. This project shall be completed on or before March 3rd, 2022. And this was published in the Post Register on September 24th and October 1st. So we'll go ahead. Is there anything you need to add before we open the bid? We'll go ahead and open the bids. If Mr. Walker, both you and Lance will kind of keep track of them as we go through, just record them, write them down. The first one we have is from Brett Price Excavating. The bid, the check is included. The bid is the unit price of $14 per yard for a total amount bid of $168,000.
So 168,000 even.
Even, yeah. Yep. Okay. This you'll be the one that verifies everything.
Yeah.
When we're done. The next one is Green Dream International. Green International,
or
from
GEI.
Erie, Pennsylvania. Not see a check, but it could have a bid bond, correct?
Yes.
Wait, it looks like we've got some computer glitches here in the printing. Looks like they do have the bid bond. And their bid amount, a little hard to read. because of the way their printer, but the way I'm understanding this is it's $10.54 a yard for a total bid of $126,480.
Say on there where they're from.
Around Pennsylvania.
Erie, Pennsylvania. The next one I'll open is from TMC Contractors, Inc.
PMC.
TMC. We do see the bond. And the bid is $13.25 unit for a total of $159,000 even. The next one is from HK Contractors. They do have the bond included. And the unit price, bid price is $10.43 for a total of $125,160.
Who's that?
125, 160, and it's HK Contractors. And the final one is Knife River Construction, professional way. We do have the bond. And their unit price was $8.40 for a total amount of 100,800. 100,800 even. That's not further. So I don't have them. So this was the lowest bid.
That was the apparent low bid.
That's what I
Yes.
thought it was. So the apparent low bid is Knife River at 100,600, 800. Our Public Works Director will go through all of the bids to make sure that they conform. And,
I'll probably bring that back for a bid award next week
okay,
at our regular meeting.
okay. So the final bid award will be taken care of next week, pending review. Any questions or anything else? Okay. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for
And
having me.
thanks for your bid. Thank you.
Yes. Look forward to it. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Well, it's good that you got so many bids.
Quite a spread.
Yeah, That was.
Yeah, they will. Anyway, appreciate that. We'll look forward to hearing how it goes next week. What have you got next?
Next is on DocuSign. There is a local professional services agreement with Keller Associates for our master transportation plan for Bonneville County.
Okay,
And that just needs a review and a signature on it. And then I'll get back with LTAC and ITD.
yeah, she put me on as a signer, as acting chair. So are you okay if we sign that? Okay. Okay. What's next?
The next item is signing the contract for JM Concrete for our piping of the 45th
Yeah.
East project. I've got 3 copies here, and I've got the notice to proceed that all need to be signed.
Okay, and it's on us in action today.
Yes.
Was there anything we need to be aware of with these?
No, you already agreed to award the bid to JM Concrete. This is just the paperwork follows up that says that we're
That's fine.
doing
When are they
the
starting?
contract.
When are they doing it?
They will be starting probably this week
Excellent.
with getting delivery of stuff.
I'll have Pam. Thank you.
What are the areas for the road master plan? What parameters? How big of an area are they doing, the whole county, parts of the county?
So there's 2 pots of money. We're doing all of Bonneville County, basically. So the rural part has 1 pot of money from rural, and the urban is STP urban money.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 3 copies.
We
of
need
the
all 3 of
contract.
them signed.
Yeah,
Contract have its signature place.
yes, on the back page. And there's just probably just a place for one
Yeah. I think it's
signature.
about 25.
And the contractor gets one, we keep an original, and the engineer of record keeps an original.
Make it effective today.
Yes.
So like you said, better question is, what were you doing running around a Caterpillar that early in the morning?
I guess I need that one back, Lance.
With COVID.
Looked like you were having fun to me. So
It's not bad to get in there every once in a while.
look out some anxiety,
Yeah, just
aggression,
just
run
kind of
over stuff,
watch the people,
mash stuff.
make sure that they're, a lot of our contract, a lot of our operators have issues with their contractors that come in there. So it's nice to sit in there
I'll
and
probably
watch
have
how
you
they
keep
treat
this.
you and, you know.
The next is
You can learn a lot.
signing the temporary easements that allows this pipe work to go in. There's a few properties, 4 of them, that need temporary easements signed to be able to get in and do the work. And there's just, I think there's still, I'm not sure if there's signatures for all the commissioners on that one or just one. Or it looks like all of them. Okay.
So many copies of this.
There's 4 different ones.
3 copies of each. for
Different
each
No, there should be
properties.
1 copy of each of these,
Yeah,
but there's 4 of them, so. Maybe, is it 4 or 5?
5.
5 or 5, yeah.
Okay.
That was fun. You a police officer at a speed trap.
I think that's the last thing you have to sign.
okay.
So last week, I wasn't here.
No, you weren't.
Did you have questions about the Keller scope of work for widening Iona Road? Because that was not signed. The one with Ford was signed last week.
So, I must have missed it. I don't remember anything coming in.
So both documents were there, but
We must have missed it.
okay.
Did you get it back?
No, I didn't get it back.
I thought one of those was on DocuSign.
And that was the Fortune one.
The Keller one was not on.
The Keller one was on DocuSign too, I believe. But I never got anything back from that.
Do you know anything about that, Kayla?
Kayla?
On it right now.
You're doing it.
Let me look at it right now.
Oh, when I didn't hear back, I wondered if you had any questions.
No,
about
we
it.
must have just missed it.
Okay,
So that was on agenda last week. to be
Yes.
signed.
it was.
Okay, I'll have to make
Talked
that-
about it.
Yeah, we talked about them both. We were fine. Yeah,
So
we
can you
just
sign it
missed signing.
now? We missed the sign.
Yeah, I think we can go
Or
ahead
we
and sign
talked
it.
about it when it was on the
On for
agenda.
last week,
Okay.
yeah.
And then next week I will have, I've got the information back from Horrocks on the 25th East to 49th North scope of work. They've addressed the comments I gave back to them, and so next week I'll bring that to you and have you review that.
Okay. We're keeping everybody busy, aren't we?
Yeah,
Including you.
yeah, we are.
Did you have something, Kayla?
No, sorry.
Okay, no, you're good.
So I have a question for you. So today is probably the last day that we have our mower who's been coming in as a temporary employee. He's probably gonna quit after today, and I'm wondering if I can hire another temporary employee for help out during the winter. It's a previous employee that left us to go to work for the site, but he's not getting 40 hours a week all the time. I'm wondering if you allow me to hire a temp employee, no Percy, no anything like that, but come in on the weekends if we need.
Got a space in your budget for it?
Yes,
I assumed you did.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine. What do you foresee him doing? What's the need?
he'll probably be either running a sander or running a plow truck. And he's done both of it for us,
That's
so he's familiar with the trucks and familiar with the areas.
Well, I wish we had Roger here to promise there wouldn't be much snow this winter, but he's not here, so.
Well, I don't know what he did about Monday. so.
Better promise to have a lot of snow this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, we do need a
Palisades
lot of
Dam.
snow. this
Yeah.
So we
winter.
need, first we need about 6 weeks of rain.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Then we need good freeze, and then we need a whole bunch of snow on top of it.
yeah.
The next item I want to talk about is, so I've got one sort of price for that median treatment along Sunnyvale.
Mhm.
And it's looking like that one bid price was about $30,000 to do that little bit of median treatment
Wow.
along Sunnyvale. I haven't got prices back from the others, although I've heard from TMC and Knife River that they can both do it. I've heard from Mountain Valley also that they have done it
And that's
before.
along where,
Sunnyvale Road, which is off Bellin Road, that park and ride, the bus thing that we talked about doing. So you asked me to look into the prices of
Yeah.
what it would cost to
fix
do it.
that.
And it's looking like the one price I have now is probably close to $30,000. And
So when
Oh,
I
Lord.
talked to the developer about that, I told her that's what we were looking to do, and her first question was, will that be passed on, that price be passed on to us, that cost, or would the county do it? I don't know how we could pass it on, do we? I don't know, unless just out of their goodwill, they wanna,
Yeah, because it's ours, right?
well, the road is ours.
Yeah.
and there was
So-
no agreement.
There's no agreement to do this, so I don't know how you would pass it on, but I also know that it's another $30,000 that certainly wasn't in my budget.
Get it off your money tree.
That money tree is kind of bare right now. It dropped all its leaves. It's a stick.
Well, let's get some more bids.
Okay, I'll keep trying to get some more bids.
I'm
They
not
are
sure if we've got a
very-
lot of choice there.
And that's
Yeah.
our only option. You come up with some other creative way of,
I haven't found another method that would effectively prevent the buses from crossing over the center line.
Now, there's no lines on that road.
There's no line.
If there were simply lines, does it then become, it's still not illegal for them? to
No, it's
swing out?
not. I mean, on that particular road, you would have a skip line, which is legal to cross over.
you stick candles there and then let them break the candles.
Then it comes an ongoing replacing those candles all the time cost.
We put candles there the first time, and the second time we paint 3-inch steel pipe like it's candles. And drive them into the ground.
That is a liability for the county,
Did
but
they
I don't
say-
think we want to go there.
Didn't they say they were gonna go back to the city and change the curve radiuses on those curves?
Yes,
Move the stop signs and that?
she's working to do that. But she felt like the best way to make the buses do it is to put the divider in.
Median there,
Yeah, I mean, she was fully supportive of it,
as long as
Because-
she didn't have to pay for it.
as long as they didn't have to pay for it. They've tried 3 times to meeting with them to get the buses to conform because they knew that was a problem. I mean, she's been contacted by, those land homeowners as well.
So the buses
And
all
she
pull
said,
out.
I can't get any movement. And so she
Buses
thought it
pull out
was
at a
best. to
particular
force it.
time. They all load up and leave at once, or do they?
I think it's throughout the day.
There's multiple times, yeah,
What is the radius,
I've never watched the
asphalt radius
Exodus
on that
occur.
curve,
yeah.
on
I
the
don't
corner?
even, on Bellin Road, I don't know.
Because they should have done it with commercial standard with trucks.
I think they did it commercial standard on that entrance out on the Bellin Road, but
Yeah, but this is the
bus
back one on
drivers-
the residential area.
Because when I looked at it on the photo, it looked like it was not 30. It looked like it was probably a 20. It looked pretty tight.
I don't know what it was. That was to the city of Idaho Falls standards.
What does the divider consist of? What does that look like?
So it's like out here on Memorial, where you have a section of concrete curb that's about 6 inches high, and then you have those delineators every about 20 foot.
Okay.
Mess they put all the way down 17th Street, right?
Well, it's similar to 17th, but the closest one here is just on Memorial. If you go down towards the roundabout, you'll see what it looked like.
Makes it fun to dodge the snowplow.
Well, let's get some more prices and we'll hopefully talk about it next week.
Okay.
It's something that's gonna have to be done if you want to resolve the issue. It's one of those hindsights. that We got a little run over on the,
Yeah,
by the city.
seems to keep happening.
It shouldn't. Fool me once, right? Trick me once, or however the saying goes.
They just keep changing the scenario though.
Yeah, that's
So it's
true.
always the next ones.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're able to catch the
Then this
second
is
time
now.
type of thing.
If you went in on Bellin, instead of on to the side street and put just a cluster of 20 feet of it, 20, 30 feet of it.
Well, the problem with the resident on Sunnyvale is they're crossing over the
I
side.
know, but
So
if you put those barricades, that would force the buses to make a tighter turn. Because right
on
now,
the Sunnyvale, that's
Right-
what we're talking
right
about.
now, but right now, they're swinging on Sunnyvale and making a wide turn onto Bellin when they enter Bellin.
Well, they're doing both. They're doing it out of the exit from the
I
parking right,
understand,
and they're doing it on Bellin.
but if you just do a few dividers on Bellin, they won't be able to make the wide swing. It'll force them with just one set of dividers.
But it won't address the problem of the resident.
I think it would, because then they're gonna have to make a tighter inside turn radius rather than making. a
No,
wide swing.
so what they're complaining about is the entrance.
I know,
So Bellin is here,
I understand.
they're complaining about it clear down by their driveway.
There's quite a bit of distance there. There would be plenty of room for them to swim clear out around and then come back in.
Unless you do the whole stretch on
Needs to
Sunnyvale,
update.
Right.
they're not gonna
Right,
comply.
isn't it right here?
Yeah,
So what are you looking at doing? Just Sunnyvale, right?
it would be
Not Bell.
just Sunnyvale,
I don't think,
because if you do just Sunnyvale, then you're making them stay within their lane, and so they may swing out just a little bit on Bellin, but that isn't the concern with the residents.
well, and the traffic keeps them in line on Bell and on Sunnyvale. There's no
Better.
traffic. And so
Right.
they're just, yeah, they're
Going
using the
wherever they
whole
want.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they showed those pictures though, you could see the turning on down.
Yeah, they
They
were,
were
Yeah, the
making
tracks,
big
yeah,
swing
yeah.
into the.
that's true.
They are, right
into
at Bellin, and that's where that
Southbound
median
lane.
would go out and stop right before the intersection of Bellin, to keep them from veering left to turn right.
So it would be the whole length of Sunnyvale,
It would be from the exit
from the
out
exit clear to the.
to the intersection. It's a little over 300 feet, like 350 or something foot.
Okay,
I'll work
Yeah, I
on
tried to take your
more
phone.
prices.
what else?
That's all I had. I don't know if there's any other thing to talk about. I have given comments.
We needed to talk about, from last week, we talked about the Thunder Ridge parking area, that cul-de-sac that we talked about like 2 or 3 weeks ago, if you remember that.
It was just on there for
And we were
review. so I
talking
didn't put
about
it on for
what we
signature.
do about that. We were gonna talk about possibly posting signs there.
So let me get this right. It was all, I'm sorry to interrupt
No,
you. This
you're
was
good.
only on for review.
Well, your
last
email
week?
said just for, one said review signature, that one said review, and there's not a place for signatures, so I thought they were just
No,
gonna
there's
review
not.
it.
Oh, I thought there was a
I don't
place
think,
for
I
it.
don't think there's any signature right anywhere on those. And the one, the email I got from you at least.
Okay. I guess I'll get back with them and see if I need a
Their
signature on it.
signatures on it, do we just need to initial it so that we know we looked at it, or?
Well, and that's,
If it wasn't on for an action, we could.
it was on for an
Yeah.
action item,
Yeah.
but it just,
Just for review.
Oh.
So I guess
We
if-
did review it.
if you reviewed it and you're okay with it,
Just initial
then
it.
I'll initial it. Yeah, if you can initial it, then we proceed with it.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, Austin, go ahead.
No, so we were just talking about that we had agreed with the community there that we would put in those walkways because that's something they wanted. So I don't think it would be good to take them out. So we had just talked about last week, basically posting signs that said no parking, do not block driveways, right?
I do not block that.
So we were wondering if that's something Bryce owned to do, or the county would do that, right?
the county would probably do it. It becomes an enforcement issue then.
Yeah, I talked with the resource officer.
Make a copy
You
of it
did?
quick.
Yeah. It's really not a big deal for him to walk over there and have a look.
So do you want it in the whole cul-de-sac? Or do you want it from the last house and
I
around
would say
where?
around the radius, wouldn't you?
Put it where they're coming into the
The only
cul-de-sac.
place you really need to have it would be next, adjacent to where the driveways are. So if you post one on the house, coming just at the house, just before you get to the seminary,
The sidewalk.
headed north, and then one headed south. That would probably
Well,
be
show
all
me
you
on a
need.
map what you're talking about, because I think in order to post it, you're talking about the entrance to the bulb out on both sides.
That's what
Is
I'm
you
There's
have to
only-
mark
There's
no
only
parking.
there's only three houses, I think. that-
Yeah, there's only 3 houses within the cul-de-sac plus the seminary lot.
And
Doesn't
the
show you the
seminary
whole
isn't,
world
there's no approach for the seminary. So
Right.
the only place I was aware in the discussion, the guy was saying they were blocking the driveways.
There's two
Guy-
driveways on
with
the
guy in
south. There's two driveways on the south and one on the north.
It would be east and west.
No, it would be north and south.
It's north-south road though there, I think.
No. The road goes east-west.
I see it. I can't see it in my head right now to think exactly.
Yeah, the road goes
The road goes
east-west.
east-west, yeah.
I thought the seminary was on the east side of the road.
The seminary's on the north side of the road.
Very end of the cul-de-sac.
Zoom in down a little bit. It's not showing Thunder Ridge High School, but it's showing. Zoom in. Keep zooming. So it's not showing the cul-de-sac on this.
It's
No,
not that
it's not that one. It's the
So
one just north. The
North.
road one's east-west. No,
That's not the
Right
one
here
that.
goes
that
that
one is
way.
right there. It goes further east in cul-de-sacs. Two houses on the
Can you bring
south.
up a parcel viewer?
That's what I was trying to see, does not have my bookmarks on it.
So you're just thinking one where it begins the radius and then one,
Well, so you'd have one as it enters the bulb out
yeah.
and another on the other side of the bulb out, going back the other way with arrows.
Pointing in.
Yeah,
And what does the sign say again?
no parking.
Just don't block, don't obstruct driveways. It's not no parking. We cannot stop parking on the public street.
No
Yes, you
walking
can.
driveways,
If you post it that way,
but
You
then the
can-
neighbors.
Then they can't
then
park
the
either.
neighbors can't park there.
Nobody
either.
can park. And then how do I control it? It's just in that particular area of the subdivision if we don't control the whole subdivision.
Well, that's where the signs come into play.
That's where, and we've not done that on any other school zone,
No, we
any
haven't.
other area.
I agree.
So it becomes a consistency issue in how we're doing it. And I wouldn't recommend we do that on this one.
But
So
we
you're
also
thinking
haven't
just
done,
say do
don't
not
block driveways.
driveways.
We haven't done that. We have said no parking on pavement just in Kinswood area to keep people from parking on that Kinswood area. We did stop parking on the pavement.
But it wasn't designed for on-street parking. Was that on? that
Yeah, it was.
cul-de-sac?
A little bit further
I wonder
east,
if you,
south.
it's right there.
Right where your cursor is, just
Just
north,
above it.
Right there.
right there, zoom in.
It's right there.
So two houses on the south of the cul-de-sac, seminary building on the north, there's another lot on the north.
Can you go full page on that?
Over on the left, there's like that little blue thing.
This is where this road is supposed to go.
No.
There's no
I'm
road
sorry.
there.
It's incorrect. The road that's gonna go through is the one on the west.
So that's not gonna be a road.
I'm in error. Yes, that's a lot.
There'll just be another house there.
Yeah.
My concern is, it just looks to me like, I mean, you're only talking 2 or 3 houses in the bulb. I'm sure they're the same problem going down the street, to the west. They're gonna be parked in front of that house.
They will move to that location if you don't allow them to park here.
Right.
And the issue that they're dealing with was not with blocking their driveways. That's the only official thing that they said that was a violation of what county standards are, is blocking the driveways.
They were also upset about the people
Where
parking
does the
there.
guy live? that's come in and talked to us, why, which place is it?
He lives in the house that's,
Just
Right.
south of your mouse.
yeah,
Right
that
there,
one,
yeah.
that's where he lives.
To officially traffic control, if you want somebody to be able to cite them and do control on it, is blocking the driveway is the thing that we have to deal
And it
with.
doesn't have to be posted for that.
No, it doesn't.
If somebody's blocking his driveway, can you call a tow truck?
Because if we're posting no parking, I mean, where do you stop? I don't know where you stop. And those, that, they only have room to park 2 cars in front of those houses without parking on the street. So then you're eliminating all parking on the street, trying to control something that involves the school. And the only thing that's a critical complaint that's non-compliant is obstructing their driveways.
And for me,
But
it looks like
calling
those
a-
cars that are parked on the road probably belong to those houses in the
Mhm.
picture.
They're already doing it.
Yeah,
That's why I didn't want to do the no parking. And I think the no blocking the driveway, that's already, you can't do that according to code now. You can't block driveways. And so putting up signs that say what you already can't do doesn't solve anything.
No, it doesn't.
So then
I've been out 4 times. 5 times the last 2 weeks. During school, haven't seen a single vehicle parked. But I haven't been there at the beginning of school or at the end. Well, I was there at the end of school. And the sooner we get something done so people can get out of the parking lot, be nice. But there wasn't anybody in that cul-de-sac. In fact, I might have parked in the cul-de-sac to run stuff in.
Not
School.
that's not already enforceable by a school resource
send a
officer. or
resource
police
officer
officer.
over there. at the end
They
of the
can
day.
already enforce the blocking the driveway
I
stuff.
think we put the issue on the school. You know,
Yeah.
let those parents put more pressure on the school to get the word out. But we should, and I can't remember, you know, where it all came from, but we should never have put that walkway through there. We never should have. We don't do that I mean, you could argue to put those in multiple cul-de-sacs so that there's access to walk through and get to whatever, a store or whatever it might be.
Slight your, go for just a little north on the map.
Well, whose property is that walkway?
It's on the
Seminary building.
The lot itself is owned by the school district on our parcel view.
Okay, so who owns the actual
Should be
sidewalk
on
walk-through walkway? Is that,
It
is
is
that
not
the
owned by
schools?
church. It is owned by the school, at least
Okay.
on parcel viewer, it is owned by the school.
They just haven't changed it.
I mean, why didn't we put a walkway through here? You know, I guess because it's not school property.
Well, the reason I ask is the church that's, the LDS church that's next to the Hammond Fire Station and City Hall. The property owner that owns the property at the end of Eileen put a walkway through from Eileen to the church
Because they
property
wanted one.
because the whole neighborhood wanted to be able to walk that way. And then they tried to give it to the church and the church wouldn't take it. Said they would not accept the
Because of
liability of that
liability.
walkthrough.
But the
And
church-
ultimately, they blocked it off because the property owner's insurance company said, you're liable.
If
Church
anybody
doesn't want
goes
it
wrong.
because they're liable.
Yeah.
So,
But in this instance, the church did construct. That was part of the improvements that the church when they built the seminary.
They didn't know the law, so they didn't give
They
away anything.
they just haven't updated it yet.
They
The
have
church
to own the
owns it.
lot because it's off campus.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, it's,
yeah,
they always
Oh,
have to
yeah.
own it because they're off campus.
It's tax exempt, so the assessor just
Yeah.
hasn't updated his files.
I still think it should be
And we have another,
addressed off
there's a
the
subdivision
street out there,
filed
not the
on the rest of the property. And there's
neighborhood.
that north cul-de-sac goes up, swings, and goes around and ties into the other one.
It's shaped like a figure 4,
And
up and around
And
and
there's
back
another
down.
public walkway running straight north
But I
where
have not approved that as the improvement drawing.
Through here,
Yeah, well, that road will go up and go around, and there'll be lots that back up against the school property. And on that plat, they have another
Oh, that.
headed
I
north.
see a problem with that, and
I do too.
I've
Place for
commented on that
convenience store.
multiple times.
I wouldn't approve that.
And I haven't approved the improvement drawings for that.
Good place for a
It's on
Taco
review
Bell,
number 5.
Subway.
Yeah, because we're just causing another problem.
Well, the other problem is that cul-de-sac at the end. I don't want another situation like down below where you have a bulb out and then another bulb out.
Yeah,
Well,
It looks,
that's a temporary
plan.
bulb there.
that one is a temporary,
That
but it
one's
was
okay.
constructed with asphalt, and I'm telling the developer, he has to tear that out and
Yeah.
move the sidewalks back to
Move
straight.
the sidewalks.
And
everything,
the
make it
ones that-
straight.
One developer that wanted to do it, he backed out because of it.
why was this put in as a double?
They were
bulb?
supposed to take that one out. That was also a
They were
temporary.
supposed to, but they didn't.
Yeah, that's messed up.
It's new road design.
Yeah, bulbous roads.
Traffic calming.
Live in the bulbous neighborhood.
So does that property belong to those landowners there?
Yes,
It does.
They're certainly not paying property tax on it.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure
are.
they
Not if
are.
they've gone into the assessor and said
They
this is
haven't gone into
roadway.
the assessor, I bet. They don't even know it.
Yeah. Wow. Who was this developer?
oh, that was before, that was.
This was a different developer. This one was actually the school district.
Really?
They bought
last
the ground
lot.
right up to the edge of it, and they developed those 4 lots
Mhm.
there and up to where the seminary building is. That was the school district that developed them.
Why did we allow them to do that without taking that other bulb out?
I tried very hard to get them to take it out. And they said, well, it's already built, I'm not taking it out.
Couldn't we withheld something on the?
I tried.
Did we fell in that?
I'm not sure where it fell apart, but they got told that they could, don't worry about it. And it wasn't by me.
That's on us, I guess, then, because we signed the final plat.
And it doesn't show as a plat with that through there. It shows it straight through. Road.
That's on us. Well,
It's a great little short track for racing.
so back to the walkthrough. I don't think there's anything we can do. Except just tell, if the guy calls or contacts us again, to just recommend that he put a little more pressure on the school to enforce it.
First officer.
Yeah.
My daughter says she gets calls occasionally from the neighborhood over there. Streamline the process, so that goes right to there. So
We have multiple other schools in other areas that are inside of subdivisions, and they don't get called complaints on that. Then the people don't block the driveways in front of the houses, and yet
They're
there's
pretty
tons of
similar
pickup
as
and
far as
drop-offs
people
on them.
parking
there's
on the
all kinds of
streets.
complaints about it, they maybe just don't make it to your office. There's all
They make
kinds
it
of
to mine.
complaints about the one over on 12th and
One in Cloverdale.
Cloverdale.
Cloverdale has, we get complaints about that all the time of people blocking parking or driveways.
or Erickson.
So do you refer them to the sheriff's office?
That's what we usually do is like, this is an enforcement issue and I'm sorry, you're gonna have to call the sheriff's office.
Yeah. So I guess we just try to make sure we don't continue to make mistakes like this. And that bulb, I don't know, temporary bulb.
So those 2 houses more parking.
It's like you say, Lance, once you lay asphalt, cement, it's
It's,
pretty hard to remove temporary. I mean, that's not temporary asphalt cement. So we should have never. Make sure
So
you don't
really
let
what
us make
happened
that
is
mistake
the-
again.
I'll try very hard.
What ought to really happen is this street extend up and come
And that's what they
around.
do.
and go that
Oh.
way. It shouldn't be this one.
But the school owns that lot north of the seminary.
You could add.
Well, in
this
fact,
to
the
your
school owned all of
plat
that
for
there.
Region 5.
Gonna be another football field.
Yeah,
because
it's
they need
probably,
more.
not on here unless it's recorded. Is it recorded?
It's not recorded. That's why I can't get to it.
Yeah, probably. I probably can't get it from here then.
Well, we'll, at least as far as I'm concerned, support you and what you're and holding back on that. So that we don't make that mistake again. Okay, what else?
The only other thing that we had is just RC Willie. I know we sent back their improvement drawings, and on Pioneer Road, they had those sections where they had like 5 different accesses.
Mhm.
And you commented on those and said too many accesses and there was no
I sent
width.
them, I
width
sent
there.
them back to the BMPO access management plan, which showed 175-foot spacing between access points. That's what I sent back to RC Willie.
For what's a road type?
For a residential or a collector road, which Pioneer Drive through that area would be a collector road.
The primary road doesn't be a collector necessarily because the other
It's
road,
a collector road. That's the primary access into that area. And this other gateway or whatever they want to call it is also going to be functioning as a collector, because we talked about it. You said it wasn't going to be an arterial, but it would be a collector.
but I would consider Pioneer that short of a road to be a collector.
It was designed as that way to start with
I
Watts
understand, but-
development,
But that's before it was right in, right out only, right?
but it was still planned for and designed as a collector road.
Is it on Sunnyside?
Yeah, it's right
That's
there.
it.
You're there.
The
No,
total length of that road when it's developed will run from Sunnyside to to the south end of
But it's a commercial road.
of that lot. I don't know how to describe it. Where the light colored farm field, just about south of the P on Pioneer. That's-
I've always heard that this described that as a collector.
But that road, that's all it'll go, is just from there to there.
But it's still a commercial road. It only serves commercial facilities. It was designed when Watts came in and did it as a commercial road.
So what's the problem? We make them conform with the same.
Well,
We
they're just basically asking, their point is, so on this, on the side right here, the east side, it would be that goes on to Pioneer Drive. Right there from where their truck loading bays are to Pioneer Road, they have 120 feet. That's why they were leaving more accesses so that they could have an easier time getting some of their delivery trucks in and out of there. And he's not saying, hey, we want to keep all those accesses, we want to keep 6 accesses along there. He's just saying, unless we can work on something of maybe getting some little bit wider accesses there, like a couple of wider accesses than 40 feet. He just said it's probably going to be a deal breaker for us because it's too hard for us to get our trucks in and out.
Right.
If we only have 2 40-foot accesses 175 feet apart and
You got access to your emails on this. I'll forward their site. plan.
and 120 feet of width. So basically what they were asking, and there's other examples that we have in the county, that there's
Well, let me-
accesses that
before
are
you
way
do that,
greater than
So
40
Eagle Eye
feet, but-
Produce. Eagle Eye Produce has a lot of trucks in and out. They have 2 access points. The one that we allowed them on Lincoln Road was only 40 foot wide. And that's for Eagle Eye Produce.
So the metropolitan plan only
The
allows
BMPO.
for, the BMP only allows for 40-foot wide.
So the
We can
BMPO
increase
access
that.
management plan talks about not necessarily the 40 foot wide. The 40 foot wide comes from the planning and zoning code, which says a commercial access is limited to 40 foot wide. The access management plan shows how many accesses they can have on a certain given type of road. And in that plan, if you have along a collector road between 51 trips and up to like 1,000 trips, the spacing is 175-foot spacing.
Well,
I've got to get the.
let's do my one.
No, it's be too thin for it.
See my junction box. Both of these.
If you scroll down about 2 maps,
It's right there.
well, that one's.
Right here?
Yeah. So this is their initial proposal. Pioneer is on the east side. And they're showing it with 5 approaches in there. They're saying that they are willing to come back in and do some modification. They put those 3 little islands in. They said that they would reduce the number of approaches if they could exceed the 40-foot requirement and put wider approaches, because all of their truck bays, you can see the little blips. They have 2 truck symbols marked. There's doors all the way up.
Everything
there.
north of that.
I can see time to use it. So this.
Over, no, to the right.
On Pioneer.
Pioneer is the existing road. You can see Smith Chevrolet's up there on the right.
Yeah.
Much easier to look at.
So,
And there's approach here, approach here, approach here, approach here.
so everything up from here, everything up from here north, that's all truck bays. So they're saying they're willing to get rid of some of these approaches, but they're
they
just
can have a
asking if they
wider-
can have a couple that are
access.
wider in that point so that they have an easier time getting their trucks in and out.
What's the problem with that?
So the planning and zoning code says that a commercial approach with 40-foot wide max.
And I'm just telling you, I'll tell you what the commissioners have done in the past in multiple locations. If you go up to Dad's, which is just a mile south of here, we have 1, 2, 3, I think there's 3, if not 4 approaches that access Pioneer, or not Pioneer,
And co,
Anco, or the
can't remember the name of the other one.
the other road east and out. Those approaches, they were approved at anywhere from 115 to 150 foot wide. They've done the same thing on some other approaches that were on south in the Anco, on the south side in Comdevco. They've also,
But there's also a lot of others that you fought for
I know,
only 40-foot wide, and we've done that on,
I know, we've
number of
done,
other
we've done
subdivisions.
So
several.
what's the logic in limiting them to 40-foot wide?
When you're talking on collectors mainly, It's to reduce the number of access points, entry points that you have to anticipate trucks or vehicles coming, entering and leaving the road right of way. Less points of being aware of where they are. The other one was to have additional width for the on-site drainage swells where we don't have curb and gutter, and they made it so that they calculated the 80-foot length. At the time, they came up with the 80-foot recommendation distance. They figured that was adequate width to have on-site drainage swells to be able to handle the runoff from the road into the property. So those were the two reasons for establishing the 80-foot distance, separation distance.
And we're
And
not talking about the separation distance.
I am though, because that's part of the standard. So if we're talking all the
In a
standards,
residential area, we talked about the 80-foot separation between the two driveway approaches on a single street. Right?
but this is a local street. I consider this to be a local street now rather than a collector.
But
Or
I
a
consider
gateway.
it to be a collector street.
Okay, but regardless of what you all consider it to be, what we have is a big commercial store that's gonna have a bunch of semis that need to be able to get in and out.
Yeah.
And they need to be able to do that safely and effectively, right? So to back up, that's what we need to accomplish.
And RC Willie is not cut and dry on it. All he told me is he just said, we probably need to figure something out or else we're gonna have a really hard time locating there. Because it's just not gonna work for us with the width there to get 2 40-foot accesses.
And I think what they're asking for is to be able to increase the access width to perhaps a 60.
And
It's
so,
not gonna be huge.
yeah, so
What
what,
harm would that do?
yeah.
So
what's the
increasing
downside?
the width is not necessarily my concern. The width is an issue with the planning and zoning code. So if the planning and zoning department wants to allow them to have a wider than 40-foot wide approach, I'm okay with it. It just right now it violates their code.
And so the options they have is they can ask for a variance on it for justification. Some of them, they have applied for variances for increase with others. We were instructed, allow the additional width.
Well, it sounds like there's no problem with the width.
I don't
see
think
a
there's a
problem
problem
with
if we
It's
go
just
back
as long as we limit the number of approaches.
and we limit approaches. If you want a
Does that
60-foot
solve that?
wide approach,
I think they'll do.
I don't have a problem with it.
Well, I think that's the answer then.
So why I was talking the 80 was the concept is allow them to get a wider width and make the island wider.
That's fine, I think. I just don't want to go against what Lance needs to do for roads. And so if he doesn't have a problem with it and you can make it work for you.
Because
then-
it's the width and the separation distance for the width of the driveway and the island width is something that's in the zoning ordinance. The question, if we're challenging whether we're holding to the MPO standards, access management plan standards is another question, which gets to the point of what we identify the road.
You gotta be careful, because I don't know how many times we grind out the city doing that very thing. So we gotta live by it.
Pioneer Road, when the original discussion, when it was put in, was they didn't know whether the other road was gonna be built, the gateway, they didn't have a clue whether gateway was gonna be built.
Well, it wasn't Gateway on the plat of Watts Development.
No, it was called
It was
Jim.
Gem State Road. or
the
something.
alternate road location, okay?
Yeah.
So they did have provision for dedication of that. Because they weren't sure that it could be approved, because they didn't have an approved access point onto Sunnyside, it was a tentative design. So in lieu of them not sometime in the future being able to build the alternate road, be it Gateway or Gem, the initial design was to say, provide enough right of way on Pioneer to make it an arterial. That's why they were required to show a dedication of 50-foot additional right of way off from Smith's
You're talking about walk.
on Watts, the Smith Group on Watts. So they dedicated 50 foot on there. Since they've got the alternate access coming in,
But the alternate access isn't constructed.
I understand, I know that it's not constructed, but the agreement that they had at the time when they were dealing with Smith Group and the two roadways is Pioneer was a stopgap if they couldn't get the other road built. If they got the other road built, then the requirement wasn't going to be to come back in and build Pioneer as another arterial road.
Not as an arterial, and I agree. to
And
that.
it didn't even identify it as a collector. There was no alternate designation when they were talking about it. They just simply said, we won't require you to upgrade Pioneer to those big standards. That's one of the reasons they didn't make them put the additional pavement width on the north end of it.
If that alternative road had been built or was built or was being planned to be built, I could probably agree with you.
It is being planned. They are working.
They
on it.
have to build Gateway as part of,
They're building
Just about.
half of Gateway, but it's the alternative access out to Sunnyside. Right now, Pioneer Drive is their access to
Where's
Sunnyside.
Gateway gonna get there?
I know, but
Gateway
I'm
will-
saying they have to
Gateway will
build.
swing out and come in where
When they
where
build
Smith
this
Group's
store,
access
before
is,
this store opens,
connects to
Gateway
Jackson
has to
Hotel.
be built all the way from here clear out. to
That's not
Sunset.
part of anything that I've seen.
That's because they're doing that with a bunch of different developers, and that's all part of a separate set of improvement plans.
But that's part of the final plan.
But
that was
if
submitted, right?
they open this store like this, there's no way they're getting in and out of here because this is a right in, right out only.
But that's
So-
what I'm trying to prevent. I'm trying to prevent the same thing is right now, Pioneer is their only way in it.
But they can't use that. That's what I'm saying is Pioneer
So
Drive,
when are we supposed to see the plan?
is
that
right
has
in, right
Gateway
out
planned
only.
in?
They have signed agreements.
and they've
between
got
the
signed
developers right now.
agreements with
Then why am I
Melaleuca, with
looking at this
Smiths, with.
before all this other stuff is planned and I can see the whole plan? I shouldn't approve anything on here until I see the rest of it.
But if you got signed agreements.
I don't
showing
have
that it'll
those signed agreements.
Okay, well, he's gotta have those before he can sign off on them. Why can't we
Where
get
are
him
they?
those agreements?
Who has them?
It's a cluster between RC Willie,
Stafford,
Stafford,
Melaleuca.
Melaleuca, and
Well, I would let them know that that's gotta be,
Cromwell.
that we
Cromwell,
need
yeah.
that before the plan's gonna be signed off on. That seems
In a
reasonable.
way that puts the power in their court to make this happen as quickly as possible. We really want to sign off on this.
I guess
We need to get them to-
my point is being with this though, without Gateway Drive constructed, there is no way they can open that store.
So
Because Pioneer
Pretty
Drive is a
simple.
right in, right out only,
simple to
so
say
there's no way for
construction.
anyone to leave from that store. So that has to be constructed.
construction on the store can't begin until this is first.
So-
So
But
But
that's,
there's,
if it has to be constructed, have them get us the
and
agreement.
part of the agreement where it failed. Initially, this was, this part of Gateway was only 30-foot dedication. It's now 40. That was part of the agreement that
Right.
Frank's group said, we're only gonna dedicate 40, you have to dedicate 40. So they modified their plan and put the 40 in on their side. And
So let's get Lance the plans, the agreements to be able to, so he can sign, and that's all you need to sign off.
Well, I need
long
to
as
be
we-
able to understand everything that's happening with this roadway system in order to sign off on a improvement, public improvements. I don't know
The
these other
problem-
things. I haven't been involved in the discussions. I have to go off of the site plan that's a standalone site plan. And what I'm seeing on this standalone site plan is Pioneer Drive is the only access they have to Sunnyside
There's
right
no
now.
notes and all those little notes up there that say. Okay, but
Is that a problem, Austin? Can we get this done?
We gotta see whether we can get the signed contract.
Yeah, we need to
agreements
see
done
what the
then.
status of that is, that my concern that it falls into is when they originally came in here and met with you guys and us, we told them we'd get it done as quick as we could, and I think they're hoping to be able to do things by the end of October, and I don't think we've said anything about them to this point about Gateway Drive. I've gave them some comments saying on their revised plat that they submit, they at least need to show a portion of it, so we know what's happening and where that access is going, but I don't think that's been any part of the conversation really to this point. I think it's just the very first time that I talked to them on the phone, their whole deciding factor as to whether or not they're even gonna buy this property and move forward was if they could get that road to work with Stafford and the Cromwells and Melaleuca. So unless they could get that to work, I know they wouldn't even, you know, it's just, I know it's in the works, it's just, where's it at? Because there's 4 parties involved and they're wanting to get started.
And I know they're working on the deed exchange agreements now to transfer the ownerships, the land, some of the stuff that Stafford has, he needs to go to Cromwell's, some of the Cromwells. They gotta do all that contract agreement to do the transfer.
It's just hard for us to cut corners because of their lack of getting all their ducks in a row. And it shouldn't be that hard for them to get that done.
So if we have all the improvements showing Gateway Road, Lance, if we get all those drawings, we get everything submitted, what will that change about this site plan review? This specific plan, if they show
If I
that road
have-
all the way out,
if
how
I
does
have
that change
gateways,
how you look at this?
The
Well,
half of it.
then
the south road.
Pioneer becomes less of a collector road. And if they're already talking about reducing down the number of accesses, as long as it can be a 60-foot wide access, and I have the rest of that, yeah, some of those concerns go away. It's like, okay, you're not gonna use Pioneer to get to Sunnyside. Okay, these other things are gonna be built.
They
Okay.
can't use Pioneer to
They
get to
are
Sunny.
gonna use
They-
Pioneer. They are gonna use Pioneer to get in and build this site. There is no other way to get to this site except Pioneer.
But what I'm saying is, if they're going into Pioneer, they have to come off of the interstate and go right into Pioneer, or they'll have to cut through Smiths to get to
Yeah.
Pioneer.
I know, that's what I'm
I don't
saying,
think
too.
that Stafford's gonna let them bring all those work trucks through Smith Honda
We're
or
saying
Smith
the same
I
Chevrolet.
was gonna say, you guys saying the same thing. They're gonna use Pioneer.
They're
But
gonna
they
use
can't
Pioneer.
get out Pioneer and get on Sunnyside. Well, I guess they can, because
Yeah,
it's
they
right
can
out.
turn around. They
Yeah.
are going to use Pioneer.
They just can't get in left, yeah.
That's why the gateway's gotta be a part of it.
Let's just see, until we gotta have, increase the master plan showing the design for Gateway. And have the commitment agreements, have the 3 parties involved.
So we just need to tell them that Gateway's gotta be improved or as part of this so that it's a functional site.
Let's not lose this. You know, let's not lose RC Willie there. But let's get everything done.
So to me, the
There's no
simple way to
reason why
do
we
this
can't
is
get this done.
is instead of saying, well, we can't do this because of this and this and this, is to say, we can do this as soon as we show this. as soon as we
So
show
if you get
Gateway
us
coming all the way through.
If you get us the improvements, the stuff for Gateway Drive, then we can know for sure what we
And
can
if
do
there's
on the
something time
accesses to make
critical
them
that
work for
they
you.
need to be going to work on right away, then I would think we can accept something from them saying, from us agreeing with them that they're not gonna be.
The thing that significantly changed on Gateway or Gem, the initial design was to come down south of Stafford,
Right,
and where it came to Pioneer, Gateway or Jim was designed to swing and head
Right.
straight south where Pioneer is now. And then Pioneer was supposed to swing and tee in to Gateway. And that would have been the full limit of Pioneer. It would then dead end there.
Right.
With Frank involved, they changed their mind and decided, we don't want to have our property split with the road going down the middle of it. They
Right.
wanted to go clear to the freeway and have a frontage run down the freeway. So their property wasn't broken up with a road. in the
Right.
middle, which necessitated RC Willey to incorporate the road, the future gateway into their design. And
and is the future gateway on there?
yes,
Right now, the
they have
the
40
future gateway,
foot
they're
of,
building
right there.
enough to have two-way traffic. And that is a good thing. And one of the first things I commented on the first site plan is they didn't have enough to do two-way traffic. This site plan does have enough to do two-way traffic.
Well, that's where their main entrance will be. I mean, people are gonna come in that way,
yeah,
right?
that's their main.
To come to that store, they'll come down.
Down
around,
Pioneer.
Park right, here's their storefront.
Yeah,
They're
Until
using
Gateway is
Pioneer.
built, that's how they have
until
to get in.
Gateway's built, a lot
Then
of.
Gateway will
where's-
be their primary.
The
They'll
only
say
gateway
swing down
would be-
Gateway and come in on the.
But
north
you will
side.
get probably a lot of people, some people using Pioneer that are exiting off the freeway.
Yeah,
When they
because
come
they can
off the
still
freeway,
go
'cause they can
right.
go
on
right
Pioneer.
in, but when they go out, they'll have to go down
Sure,
Gateway.
they go
They'll
out,
come
but
off
they're
the
all
freeway,
gonna come
they
in
can't
on
make a
Pioneer.
right in.
Yeah.
So why is that a problem?
It's not a problem, but it makes Pioneer, at least right now, until Gateway is built and everything's constructed, Pioneer is the collector.
So this is 120 feet. I'm reading this right.
Roughly, a
Roughly,
little more than
yeah.
that.
It's like
And they've got
123.
unloading bays here that they're gonna be back at semis up to.
So if they came back and from here, they have a 60-foot wide opening, and then they have an island, and then they have another 60-foot wide opening and an island all the way down there.
These islands,
If they do that,
drain field things.
I'm not saying I'm opposed to it.
Landscape.
I'm saying they can, but Pioneer is still a collector right now.
Okay,
They
so
still
call
have
it
to
a
be-
collector right now until,
Yeah, I think we can leave it as a collector. I don't think that's a
well.
overly
we'll
big
lose
deal.
RC Willey
It's just-
because we're arguing about whether it's a collector or a feeder. or
Well,
a
it's just about the spacing
cow
of
path
the,
or a,
how many accesses they have. They're gonna have this one, they're gonna have one here, and one here.
So according to
And
BM,
that's okay, but that's not what's shown on the site plan. and that's
According
why I'm
to-
calling it.
BMPO standards as it is, what's their spacing requirements? 175?
175.
And are they lit, how many accesses are they limited to along Pioneer?
There's not a hard, fast number that they're limited to. They're limited by how much frontage they have along
They
it.
put in as many as they need to.
Yeah, because that's what
As long as they've got.
you do the same thing, but you do it there and have 175, and if they need to adjust, so they can put in a little more.
the pointy thing.
And then,
And we can do them a little wider, I don't think that'll be a problem.
and
with
if it's
them.
a local, there is no standard.
Yeah,
There's still the standard, check BMPO standards.
And that's,
Yes,
local, then
there
there
are.
is no
It
standard.
drops down to 105-foot spacing.
if it's a local and not a collector. Well, I'll call and talk to him today. I'll tell him to get us the stuff for Gateway, and I'll just kind of ask him.
Be nice, be encouraging.
Yeah, I'll ask him. if
Say, I'm
anything
sure you've already done
works.
this, but we need to see it. so
And
we
I
can
know,
sign
I
off
don't
on
know
it.
where it's at, but I know that as far as Gateway, that Connect Engineering, last I heard, was doing all of that.
Where's Connect?
That's just down here. It's local, so I think they had been working on the actual improvement drawings for Gateway, so I can have
They
him see where
running
those
further
are.
ahead than Eagle Rock is. 'Cause
No,
No.
I have,
Eagle
I have
Rock's so
seen the
freaking far
concept plan.
behind.
I do not have a copy of it. That's all I
I've
can
seen the
tell you.
concept drawing too.
I'm,
Well, we've been over backwards for them, right? We've run this
Yeah.
through extremely fast. If they can't get started by the end of October and it's in November, no, we can't help that. We've been more than accommodating.
Yeah, and I think they just wanna, I think really the reason for the phone call is they just wanna know what to change. Because they're looking at it just saying, well, okay, if we can't have these, this doesn't work for us. So they
So
were
are we
just
clear
wanting to
on-
know options of what they could possibly do to see if it would work for
Are
them.
we clear on what we can tell them so that they can make
Yeah.
changes? Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Did you get the answer to that subdivision plat that I sent you the email
When did you send me
a week,
it? Which,
2 weeks ago?
which subdivision plat? 2
Not
weeks ago,
mine,
there's a
not
lot
mine.
Not
happened.
yours.
Not
Uh,
Robin's Nest or
It was
Sparrow
one of,
Landing
it
or
was one of, no, not no, Lucas. It was an Ammon plat that was being approved by, that was waiting for signature to be processed.
The one at the end of 17th.
Yeah.
It's called
Right.
Eagles Landing.
2,300 houses or that one.
Eagles.
No, it wouldn't be that one.
Isn't
Hawks
that the one at
Landing?
the end of 17th?
No, it's,
Or,
if you were to drive all the way down 17th Street where you get to
Jump the
45th,
roundabout,
yeah,
across the canal.
jump the roundabout, then it's that property right
The
there. What's
grain,
the name
the
of that?
grain silos.
that would be,
Just below the villas.
Brogan Creek,
Broken Creek is on Sunnyside.
yeah,
Okay, so that's
it's
a
on
different one.
Sunnyside. That's the one I
That's a
sent you
different-
the email on.
What was the
The
question?
question is that we were contacted and they were asking what the problem was with Broken Creek plat review. Is it been held up for being signed off and reviewed? And
So with that, I contacted them back and said, I need the public improvements along Sunnyside because Sunnyside is still county road. And I have not seen the improvement drawings for Broken Creek along Sunnyside.
Is Ammon on both sides of it? And we own the road?
Yeah, kind of.
and you sent that to,
It was, so Broken Creek, I think, isn't that Eagle Rock?
yes, I don't even, I haven't even seen it.
So I think it was Eagle Rock. I sent back and said, I need the improvement drawings along Sunnyside Road to review and approve before access onto Sunnyside Road is granted.
So you told the engineer that,
Yeah,
okay. And I know how to respond.
yeah, they just, and I think that's Eagle Rock. But they need to get me the improvement drawing. So I can review it. I've gone through Providence Point 2, and I gave them comments back. That's on 49th South. I'm meeting with them again about Victory Ranch today and that emergency access on the 49th South. But that's still being worked through too. Okay.
Why is Ammon not annexing the road if they have?
Why
both
doesn't
sides of
Idaho
it?
Falls annex the road?
That's why do we let them annex and not make them take the road? How do we do
I
that?
don't know how we force them to take the road. Right now, the city of Ammon is kind of following the city
I
of
thought we
Idaho
forced
Falls
them to by
policy.
not allowing them access to the road.
Probably just need to
That's
watch
why
their,
I have to review the improvement drawings along that arterial
Sorry,
road.
You gotta take the road. We have to
probably
give
need
you
to
access
watch,
to it.
watch their annexation notices better. And if they have both sides, we probably need to be sending letters or some sort of written correspondence to the city council before they have a meeting.
So right through this section
So
where
that they
Broken
can at
Creek
least
was
talk about
originally,
it.
where
Sorry, it
both
really
sides
ticked
of the
me
road
off in that
isn't,
meeting we had about Lincoln.
but just beyond there is where they cross. So
They were talking about both sides of the road and all of this and all of that, and their councilman says, well, we don't want to take the road because then we have to plow it. It's like it's freaking your neighborhoods on both sides of the road.
That's the only thing I can really see that we could do is when we get the annexation notices, if we notice they have both sides of the road and the road isn't included in their annexation, we could just get a pretty standard letter that we send, whether it's City of Ammon, City of Idaho
How many
Falls.
roads do we have that they sections of roads, the
Getting more
roads
and
that
more.
they should.
You don't wanna know.
No, I do want, I do want to know
So-
because
There's a lot.
There is a
maybe
lot.
it's the point that we go to and say, all right, there's all these roads that are now all yours, so you need to pick the roads.
Which then comes back to the discussion we had, did you get a chance to review the access ordinance, policy ordinance?
I did, and I've come up with a draft language. The ordinance that you sent me is not gonna work for us.
Okay, I just,
So,
Beginning.
yeah, so I went through and I looked at what we have adopted in our standards for that specific language, and I've added to it. And I haven't got it before you yet, but I've added to it and made it more teeth to what we already had in our code.
Teeth in what direction?
Making it more enforceable.
The kind that
what
point
they
out that are scary or the kind that point in so that nothing can get away?
Point out. yeah.
Okay.
To
No
make
matter
a
which way it is,
bite
we
of
get
the
bit.
developer.
How are we with the Devon Belknap? Did anything get moved there?
So he did come and talk to me, and they are working on the design of that intersection.
Okay.
And I told him that when this is out on West Broadway. So they're working on the design, I think with Connect Engineering. And they were gonna design it. We were going to perform a lot of the work for it. Except we can do most of the work for it, layout, pit run, 3/4, but they were gonna have to pay for the asphalt.
Okay.
So,
Not gonna happen this fall.
no, it won't happen this fall, spring. If they get the plans all done, I don't know where they are on the plans. It may be the middle of next summer before things happen.
How are they coming on that? Where are they at on inspections?
pouring lots of concrete, setting up lots of beams. They're still working on infrastructure.
In Harvest, I talked to the guy that hauls a lot of the fats out of Johnson's feedlot down to Logan, and yeah, he said they're telling him that they plan on killing right there next summer.
I see, if it's next summer,
Killing at,
the slaughterhouse.
not the intersection.
Killing beef, yeah,
Okay.
there rather than hauling.
Had me worried.
They will kill the intersection.
Start
if they all
killing
come
people in
out
the
that way.
intersection, it's getting bad.
They're working hard, fast out there.
Yeah, I know Urban's acquiring cattle too, so.
And he's wanting to know if he can, nothing before us, so I can talk. He wants to build another feedlot.
Out there by it. It's actually gonna be a good thing for ag out there. It's gonna really increase the corn demand. So we'll see a lot more corn being grown, feed all those fats out there.
I shudder thinking of a feedlot.
Yeah, well, but
The approvals-
he's out there where nobody's.
He's got a
gonna
lot
care.
of ground, he can find a place that's isolated enough. to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I don't think we'll have a problem.
Boys Park.
Yeah,
Just so you know, we did get a written appeal from the Bone Store, so I probably wouldn't talk to anybody about it from this point forward. We're getting stuff ready to turn some stuff over to Weston because she's basically threatened legal, so we're just gonna start going. through the
Basically, or
process.
has.
Basically,
okay, basically has.
What is she, what
just an appeal to our decision.
appeal of our administrative decision?
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
Well, I
Probably have to
when-
go to
When I talked with her sometime
PC
back, I
to go
said the
through.
process is you work with planning and zoning, step through the process. Planning and zoning either does or doesn't do what you want them to do. You appeal their decision, it goes to the planning and zoning commission. They make their decision. If you feel that, then it goes to the commissioners, and that's all I can talk to you about, because that's the process.
so we're just starting working on that, but I just thought I'd give you a heads up, so if they
Glad
call
you did,
again, that
because it'll probably come up on
you just tell them
Friday.
that can't